This video was sold for 5.7 lakhs and this was sold for 4.39 lakhs. What if you could also make similar videos and sell them online? Because these explainer videos are among the highest selling freelance services on both Fiverr and Upwork. So today, I'll not only teach you the process of creating these explainer videos, but also explain why for the same service, one freelancer earns 20,000 rupees and the other makes 5.7 lakhs. And how exactly should you price your work as a freelancer? In chapter 1, I'll explain you what are these explainer videos and why exactly are startups paying thousands of rupees for them. In chapter 2, I'll teach you the basics of R.A.T.E Studio, a new tool that is being used to make these explainer videos very easily. And in chapter 3, I'll explain how to pick the right niche and target the right customers for your specific video services. Let's begin with chapter 1. Now let me first explain you what exactly is an explainer video. Let's assume you're a startup owner and you have made a web app for guest houses and PG owners. You've been working on this app for the past 6 months. And now it's finally time to promote this app. Now to get your first set of customers, you need a video explaining what your app is. But the issue is that you've never made a video. You don't have the budgets to hire editors and actors, cameras and studios, and most importantly, you need the video within 2 to 3 days. This is where explainer videos come into the picture. These explainer videos are basically simple animations where you add a voiceover and then use 3D characters to explain how your product really works. But why would a startup pay 30,000 rupees for a single video? There are two big reasons. Number one, without an explainer video, a startup would need to spend on actors, costumes, studios and cameras. By avoiding all of these costs, a startup ends up saving lakhs of rupees in effort. And that is the reason why they are okay with spending 30 to 40,000 rupees for a single video. This economics is very important because as a freelancer, you need to understand that you make money only when your clients make more money. The second reason why explainer videos get a high premium is that these videos directly affect the impact of a startup's sales pitch. If this video is made well, it can be used for fundraising, outreach, demos, and even marketing. But I'm sure you're wondering as to why one freelancer is getting paid so less and why are some getting paid so high? And what is this specific person doing different? To answer this, it's important to understand that there is only a specific niche of these explainer videos that get you paid well. It's not like every category of explainer videos would make money. There is a framework that I had created in my own freelancing journey that you can use to calculate your tentative income, and that framework is called R.A.T.E. Dekho, the amount of money you make as a freelancer depends on 4 key factors: what role you apply for, how good you are at what you do, which are your abilities, who do you work for, that is, who's your target customer, and how fast do you work for them, that is, how efficient you are. These 4 metrics make up your rate. To summarize, you need to carefully analyze your chosen role, your own abilities, your target customer, and efficiency. Let's understand this with an easy example. An explainer video editor who works for abroad-based B2B SaaS companies will always get paid more than a social media manager working for a homemade biscuit startup. Being the explainer video editor is the role. Knowing how to script, edit and create an explainer video would contribute to your abilities. Specifically targeting a broad-based B2B SaaS companies is you narrowing down on your target customer. If you choose the right service, become really good at it, pick a niche with high-paying customers, and then do all of it really efficiently, eventually you will end up making more money than most of your competitors. So right now we've logged your role, that is explainer video editor. In chapter 3 of this video, I'll explain you more about choosing the right target customers. But before that, let me show you the easiest way to actually make these videos from scratch. The most important component of your video is not your fancy animations or transitions. The most important component of your explainer video is going to be the script. After your script comes the quality of your voiceover and sound. It is only after scripting, voiceover and background music that you should care about your visuals. Now please make sure that you do not use AI to write your final scripts. You can use AI on your first drafts and then build on top of it. This video is not on scripting. Let me know in the comments if you want that. We have already created a bunch of videos on video editing. I'll share the links in description. I first want to show you the exact process of editing these videos from scratch. Now for a very long time, these explainer videos needed a 3D tool like Blender and the Adobe suite for video editing. Blender is a free tool, but Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro, Illustrator would easily cost you around 3,700 rupees per month, excluding 18% GST. On top of this, you would need to pay for extra subscriptions that will help you get music and stock footage. So overall, that would also cost you 1,500 to 2,000 rupees extra per month. The tool that I'm going to show you right now is also a paid tool. But instead of spending 6,000 to 7,000 rupees per month, Create Studio will give you 3D models, video templates, background music, and video editing features at only 2,300 rupees per month. Now I'm not saying that you have to use Create Studio to make these videos. I am teaching Create Studio for a very specific reason, because I know that majority of people do not know 3D modeling or fancy video editing on all of these Adobe tools. Now if you're wondering, is there a free alternative to all of this? Unfortunately, there is not. Any free tool you use will always give you very average looking results. And those kind of videos do not attract well-paying clients. So let me show you how exactly does this even work. Alright, so let me just open Create Studio once. They have a pretty cool onboarding, and Create Studio is available for both Mac and Windows. So let me remind this later. So this is how it looks like. We'll first create a new project, and as soon as I do that, on the very left you have a bunch of different options to play with. This is where I would get my main video, and this is my timeline. Now let me show you why this is so useful. For starters, if I click on say characters, they have a bunch of different items available. So you have cafe order, you have credit card, you have all of these scenes that are pretty generic. Now if I go to scenes, I actually have a bunch of opening intros. For example, if I have a client who has a mobile app, I can simply click on mobile app promotions, and then you have more sub scenes that you can just replace. So if I want this scene right here, I can hover on it. I can see the preview. If I like it, I just have to take it and drag it here. Sometimes if you're using that scene for the very first time, you have to click on this download icon. So once you click on that download icon, it would sort of bring that template into the software. Once you drag in, this is how the template would look like. So you have all of these interesting shapes right here. Now, if I click on this one specific scene, you can see that I have screen 1 and screen 2 added here. Now, this is where you can put your own phone's screenshot. And this is where this entire thing becomes so seamless, because imagine if you had to create this entire scene from scratch, right? Now, if I double click on this, you'd realize that I have all of my boundaries. If I click on edit manually, I can actually clip this out. So, there's a lot that you can actually do. Now, the proper way to do this is that your step number 1 should be to script your own ideas. Then you have to record it with a mic. That is something that you have to do. Otherwise, you can always use like AI tools as well to get the voiceover. And then you use these scenes to sort of, replace it. Now, of course, I've just shown you scenes. The other thing is music. So as I told you that when you are making a video, it's not just the voiceover, you also need some royalty-free music. So if I go to any of these, right, let's say I go to logo, and let me just play these. And if I go to effects, they have all of these sound effects that, we would usually pay a different subscription cost for, right? Now, if I go to speech, you can write your own script here and choose any person's language and then sort of get those voiceovers from this one tool itself. Otherwise, you can use your own mic to record. So I'm not going to record it right now, but I think you sort of get the point. Within effects and components, you have a bunch of these different effects, right? So if you have a green screen, you can get rid of those. If you want to add a glitch effect, let's just say I want to have this one specific component, right? Just the beginning of this should have a glitch effect. So I can duplicate this, trim this scene from this part, and then start the other scene from here. And for just the beginning part, I can go to effects and then just drag the glitch effect to that specific scene, right? So I would have this interesting glitch effect, right? Now, of course, I did not trim it well, but you can obviously start it from that specific point, and you can do this with multiple layers. So there is so much that you can easily customize within effects and components, right? So this is where you get all of these interesting visual effects, and this is where you can get a very specific component, right? So if you want to have a subscribe prompt, they have already created it. I can take this number counter, keep it right here, And once I click on it, you'd realize that this is in black color. That's why it's not visible. But basically you can have all of these counters created very, very easily. So you can start the first digit, the last digit, the font size, the scale, opacity, every single thing is easily customizable. So these are all the basics, and you also have transitions involved. So if you're going from one scene to another, you can easily drag them. The feature that I really like the most is the 3D creator. Now let's just say I really like Tom as a character. Okay, I will click on download, and in less than a minute I would have my Tom ready. So imagine I have to make a video where Tom is sort of like my mascot. Okay, you have the background files, you have all of the voiceover ready, and now you don't have an actor, right? So you basically want Tom to sort of say things and do things for you. Now once I select Tom, okay, let me just scale this right here. The first option you see is customize. So if I click on top right here, I can change the shirt of Tom, so I can basically make him wear whatever I want. If I go to actions, you'd realize that if I click on add new action, you have a bunch of these things that you can just add. So once I have Tom as my first state, that is how Tom would come into the picture, I can then have Tom do all of these actions one by one, which is very interesting, and all of the animations are seamlessly getting synced with each other. So if I go and let's just say instead of dancing, I go to idea, and then after idea, he sort of begins to dance, which means that he first got the idea, maybe he got the idea for a second or two, and then he starts dancing. So now I have Tom, right? He's just standing, and then he gets an idea, and then he quickly starts to dance. Now imagine the amount of time it would have taken you to create this from scratch. Now let's just say I am done with my animations, and as soon as my character is ready, I need to add a specific background. So I will simply go here, and let's just say I really like this abstract particle thing. I absolutely love their gradients. I can simply drag it and keep it like this. So I will simply go here and play it. So can you see what's happening? Like, you have all of these interesting things coming up, and then I can just take Tom, maybe probably, scale it up like this, probably like this. By the way, if I hold shift, the proportional scale breaks. By default, the scale is proportional. So let's just say I keep it this way. Maybe I don't like this background to be so extreme, so maybe I can just keep it this way. Maybe I can go here and maybe go back to my studio. Let's see what we can find in our text. Once I go here, maybe I can just drag my text here, and maybe I can just say have an idea, right? And keep it here on the left side. Now, if I click on motion, I would have a bunch of animations that I can add for the entry of this text as well as the exit of this text. So if I go to say something like fade, I can simply add a basic fade in effect, right? So if I go here and enable fade in, can you see how it's just happening so seamlessly? And of course, you have looping effects as well. You have an out effect as well. So maybe if I want to have, probably maybe make it to the left, I can just sort of exit it out. So if I go here, and then sort of it just moves out. So the most valuable feature that I feel is our ability to edit my own characters, because if I go to my settings panel, I can take my character and basically add so many things, because I can add a bunch of these presets. For example, I can save this person and reuse this person again and again. If I go to customize, I can change facial hair, I can make him wear a hat, a bunch of things if it's something for Christmas, and I can have multiple avatars as well, right? So if I want a guy and a girl, instead of Tom, I can also download Lenka. So now Lenka and Tom both can coexist together. So I can probably keep Lenka here as well. And we have probably, let's just say, I'll get rid of the text and probably keep Lenka here. Let's scale her a bit more, and then probably let's make her wear some glasses. Maybe I can make her wear my logo as well. So if you want, you can actually import your own media. So let me go here and choose our logo, and I can just select Ansh Mehra's logo, and probably I'll just put it here. So if I go to my top and let's just say find something with a logo. So now she is wearing the Ansh Mehra's t-shirt, right? Same with Tom. If I go to top and probably choose a hoodie, and here as well, if I go and maybe, go and select logo, I can just select this thing right here. And now even he is wearing the Ansh Mehra hoodie and t-shirt. So can you imagine? It would have taken me so much time to create these things from scratch. So now she is listening and maybe he is just showing off, right? So can you see how quickly I was able to create this animation without much effort. And there is a lot that you can do in this platform, by the way. So once you have done everything, it's all saved automatically, and you can go to publish and you can export an MP4 or an MOV, high resolution, and you just have to render it out, right? Now, everything that I've shown you right now is completely the basics, right? Because if you go and explore their studio, you'd realize that there are so many crazy things that you can do. So much of content is available that it just saves up so much of time. And the right process is to, first focus on your script, then import your voiceover, and then sort of use these 3D characters, right? So now that I have sort of tested all of these things, I feel like first, maybe we can have all the transitions coming in, at this point, this thing can come in, and now you have these people appearing into the picture. I can probably go back to my studio, probably pick a nice background, something which looks like, let's just say, maybe like an office, like a home office. So I can take that home office and just drag it here to the very bottom, right? And let's see how this works. So at this point, we can just put our office. So it starts like this, right? And if I feel that, no, maybe I want to customize, the way her top color looks like, I can probably choose something which looks better. In my properties panel, I can obviously move her in like very minute movements and just make sure that all of my characters are looking real, right? So let me just play this once. So, she's listening to him speaking about something, and then he's dancing, and it's just like so cute. And of course, I can just improve this part. And then what we can do is we can go to actions, and then in add new action, I can probably take something like sad. Maybe she says something which is like pretty sad. And then like, he's like, oh, why did you remind me? Why are you giving me this lecture? And then you can just add your voiceover. So I think this tutorial was just to show you the interface and the possibilities. Like if you want more videos on how do you edit the audio and everything, we can 100% have that. In chapter 3, I will actually explain you how do you plan this, as to how exactly do you narrow down to a point where you can identify the right skill sets, because it's just not you learning the tool. You have to figure out the exact niche, the requirement of that niche, and sort of eventually create things that your target customers want, right? And audio is a separate game altogether. But I wanted to show this tool because the kind of customizations you have, for example, if I go here and change any of these backgrounds, you can see how seamlessly I can change things, right? If I want to change the desk, I can do that as well, right? Of course, it is not supposed to be with my logo, but you sort of get the point, right? So I feel like if you learn this tool, the kind of possibilities you can create, especially knowing the demand in the market, is really, really good. And hope this helps. But the video is not ended yet, because now that I have shown you the possibilities of this tool, it's extremely important you understand how do you find that right niche to work as a freelancer. Now, what I showed you right now was just the basics of Create Studio. I would recommend you to go to the link in description and make your first explainer video by getting a dummy brief from any AI tool. Simply type a prompt that looks like this. I want you to create a dummy brief acting as a mobile app startup owner, and you can swap mobile app with B2B SaaS or whatever niche that you have shortlisted. Next, you have hired me to make a 90-second animated explainer video. Give me all your requirements and a rough script outline so I can practice and make my own script for this video. Make sure the brief has the app name, its top features, the target customers, and their pain points, along with solutions your app will offer. Once you have entered this prompt and you have a good result, I would recommend you to go to Fiverr and Upwork and analyze the profiles of different freelancers in the animated explainers section. You have to be very, very surgical about this. Toggle the pro services option. Pick 5 freelancers selling the most expensive videos, and then find 5 beginner level freelancers. Then use my R.A.T.E framework to analyze these profiles, which means you check their skill level, their target customers, and the timelines within which they deliver their videos. Make sure you write notes of everything they have written in their own description section, because as a freelancer, you need to learn their vocabulary. This realistic comparison will make you understand the quality of work and skill you need to go from 5,000 rupees per video to 2 lakh rupees per video. But Ansh, how do I get started with my portfolio? Don't worry, I've created a step-by-step plan that you can start following today itself. And this plan is not just for explainer videos. This will work for literally any field of freelancing as long as you do it well. Let's assume you decide to make at least 15,000 rupees per video. The easiest way to get started and to get a step-by-step roadmap would be to follow this 5-step routine. First, find freelancers selling a video at 20 to 25,000 rupees and analyze them using my R.A.T.E framework, which means you see their editing style, their scripting techniques, their target customers, and speed of delivery. One technique that I have now started to use is of the thinking hats problem. So basically, when I watch a video, I always watch it 2 to 3 times. The first time I watch it, I would wear the hat of a scriptwriter. So I would only analyze the script and find patterns in their script. Then I would watch the video again, but this time wear a different thinking hat. So instead of a scriptwriter, I would wear the hat of a sound designer. Once I watched that video from the lens of a sound designer, I would watch the video again the third time through the hat of a visual designer. That helps me understand their color schemes, their typography, their animations, the frame rate, everything. It is impossible, completely impractical if you expect yourself to understand all of these things in the first view itself, because technically different brains have been working on this video. So you cannot expect your one single brain to sort of analyze how all of those 4 or 5 brains were acting. And you need to practice this for at least 4 to 5 videos of the same quality. Once you have your patterns, you need to go back to your own softwares and then recreate similar videos. And you need to practice with at least 4 to 5 videos and make sure that you delete the first 2 videos you create, because your benchmark should only be judged after your 3rd attempt. So make sure you have those 5-6 videos in your portfolio of similar quality and make your freelancers profile on Fiverr and Upwork with those dummy videos as proof of work. This process alone will take 2 to 3 months. Once done, price your work at 15,000 rupees instead of 25,000 rupees. So you take inspiration from someone who's charging 25, you learn the similar level of skill sets, and then you offer the same quality at a discount. I have always used this technique where I would aim for really high quality and then sell the same thing at a 20 to 30% discount. Most freelancers get very impatient and greedy, but I always aim to give better work at a lower cost, and this one single habit has helped me get much better clients. Once you do this, start reaching out to VC-backed startups, emailing them your dummy videos and offering them similar videos. If LinkedIn is not working out for you, invest in a platform like R.A.T.E or Hunter to get their direct emails. These platforms are also paid, and trust me, there is no free route to any of this. Almost everything worth having in life has a price. The sooner you realize this, the easier it would become for you. So just to summarize everything, first, pick the right niche of target customers. Then use the R.A.T.E framework to analyze your competition. Install your editing softwares. It could be anything. I would recommend you to start with Create Studio because it is the easiest to learn. And then start learning all of your tools end to end. Practice by getting dummy briefs from AI. And then create a portfolio on freelancing portals. This portfolio of yours has to match your competition's quality. If you create average quality of work, and even if you put thousands of average videos on the internet, you will still not get work. So please make sure you focus on quality over quantity. When you are creating your profile, please make sure that you take utmost care of your display picture, overall description, your pricing, your speed, your timelines, everything. And then start reaching out to VC-backed companies in your specific chosen niche, either using LinkedIn or Rocket Reach. And make sure you give higher quality work at a lesser rate. That is the fundamental principle. Do this outreach exercise for at least 30 different companies. And trust me, if you genuinely follow my plan and become really good at explainer videos, in majority of the cases, you will end up getting a good lead. Therefore, take things slowly. It doesn't happen in less than 4 to 5 months. Don't spend on everything from day one, but you need to have that realization that to get results fast, you need to invest in the right tools at the right time. Comment below if this video made sense to you. Let me know which other freelancing skills would you like me to teach next time. If you're here for the first time, I would recommend you to check out our free YouTube courses on video editing, Figma, product design, ChatGPT and Midjourney. You'll find all the links in description. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do that and hit the bell icon because majority of you are missing out on our uploads. We've been working really hard bringing the best quality of tutorials available to you without any cost. But you will miss out on them if you haven't clicked on the bell icon. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your dost Ansh Mehra signing out.